Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and we are playing through Legends of the Alliance, the tutorial campaign in the app. Where we last left off is we had one Imperial Probe Droid left on the map that we need to take down. So let's take a quick look at its information to remind us of what we have to care about. So it says right here to ignore the self-destruct ability on this group's card. What is that referring to? It's referring to the text right on the card itself. So there's a self-destruct that normally would happen on these probe droids, but we're going to ignore that because of the app. That's something that's really important to remember, is to always be checking in on that particular unit that's still left to ensure that you are playing it correctly. And you can do that by just clicking on it and hitting the I. Just make sure you don't hit the check mark which says to defeat that group, which would be bad. So as you can see, all of our activations are available. So we're going to start off the round being able to try to attack this thing, which should be exciting. So let's get going. Let's have Jan actually do an attack against this particular probe droid. Now, what you'll notice is dashed lines. They block movement over it, but line of sight can still see it. So Jan, essentially from where she's standing, can still draw two easy lines from there and then here in order to hit that particular probe droid, and she's going to do just that. So we're going to activate her first. We're going to have her go ahead and attack first. So she's going to be using her vintage blaster as she normally does. There is one defense dive for the probe droid trying to block this, so here we go. And we're hoping that we can land it. Now, I could have moved and then attacked, but I'm thinking that I'm going to just try to see if I get lucky enough to get the range to get there. I need a range of 3, and of course, you count that by taking the shortest distance as if you were moving to the particular target. So 3 in this case. Here's hoping. I got 3. Look at that. So we got a range 2 and a range 1, which gives us the 3 we needed, as long as a whole bunch of hits. We even got a surge. So let's see what we can do with surges. Well, we know that this vintage blaster can give us an extra hit. So let's do that. That'll give us a total of 4 hits at 3 range, which is 4 hits coming against the probe droid. The probe droid will block one of the hits. So that means 3 damage gets through, and this thing only has 3 damage. So it is essentially dead. So that's pretty awesome. Jan, right off the top, before we even had to go any further, has already killed off the probe droid. That's pretty phenomenal. So this group has now been completely destroyed, and we can remove it from the map. So we'll go ahead and do that first before we actually end Jan's activation, because remember, we've only done one action. We still have one more action with her. She can do something else before we end that activation. So let's go ahead and defeat the blue. So it says, now that you've taken out that probe droid, get inside quickly before those royal guards tear you to pieces. Lieutenant Talkin says anxiously. I'm opening the door now. The door into the base begins to slide open upward, but stops after a few centimeters. Too low to slide under. Blast, Talkin curses. The door is jammed. There's a manual override hidden near the door. Objective updated. Escape the royal guards through the door into the base. Interesting. So we got a manual override near the door, but we got royal guards incoming. That's not good. So what is this going to do for us here? So we have to just get to the door, essentially, it seems. That's all we have to do. So here's hoping that that can happen. So we're going to go ahead now and activate Jan. It didn't say that we're supposed to put any more miniatures out right now, but I think we got this funny feeling that it's going to happen soon. So if I go ahead and activate her for her, not activate her, but use her second action, she's got a speed of 5, which would get her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She could get adjacent to the door, but she wouldn't have an action to actually activate the door because she just used one of her actions to kill the last probe droid. So essentially she's at the door, but she can't open it. So we're gonna have to now activate Garkin, and hopefully he can get there in time, but I got a funny feeling he's gonna have a hard time doing that. So first off, we're gonna end Jan's activation. It says, over the din of battle, you hear the sound of more Imperial forces approaching. Remove the indicated tile 18A. Interesting. So something's happening here. I don't know what yet, but we're removing that piece for now. Oh man, the Imperials are approaching from the direction of the combat range. So place tiles 5A, 9A, and 18A, and then go forward. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to pan away really quick. We're going to set that up, and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back, and we got everything all set up just as the app described. So we got this extra part of the courtyard going on over here, and the caps for 18A on either side. Alright, so we can go ahead and continue in the app and see what comes next. Several royal guards come splashing across the stream, occupying a towering figure cloaked in black who is wielding a red lightsaber. Several stray blaster shots fly at the group, which the cloaked figure deflects with ease. He motions for 2 of his guards to head in your direction, while he and several more guards head for the source of the blaster fire. Deploy the regular Royal Guard group and place the gray Royal Guard deployment card on the table for reference. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grab that deployment card first. That sounds pretty cool. So it sounds like we've obviously got, I'm assuming it's Darth Vader. He's sending his troops after us. It could be somebody else, but I'm not sure. But I know that anyone with a red lightsaber would likely be this guy right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the Royal Guard, there we go, Royal Guard gray card, so we'll take that out. This is the deployment card. Remember, when you grab these deployment cards, it tells you exactly how many of them come with the group. So as you can see, there's little 2 bars right there, meaning 2 figures will come with. So I'm going to quickly grab those 2 figures, and here they are right here. So they look just like that, and we're going to go ahead and put them on the board exactly where they mentioned to do so. So they're coming through the river, so they'll be sitting here, and they're sitting here. All right, and we'll have this here. I'm also going to go ahead and grab their attack dice and get their defense dice ready because we'll likely end up using them at some point. Okay, let's continue on. These Royal Guards are coming for you. Luckily, they're far away and have melee attacks. Let's see what they will do during their activation. Okay, so we'll hit continue. Their first priority is to attack. Fortunately, even if they move forward, they won't be able to attack anyone. That's true. That being the case, they will skip that instruction, including the move portion. Okay, so their first priority right here is to attack because of that little star and the arrow right there, right? But if they can't do that, they will skip that instruction and then, and including the move portion, move to the next thing. So we'll hit continue. And it says these Royal Guards will try to get into position to attack next round, and that makes perfect sense. Their next instruction is to move 3 toward the closest hero, followed by a move of 7 toward the closest hero. So they will move a total of 10 movement points towards the closest hero. This is very interesting because this is where a situation where that top one doesn't work, and so that's why it's telling you you'd be ignoring the top line and going for the 2 bottom ones to really, they really get after you when these guys come towards you. You perform the activation for this Royal Guard group and then activate each figure in an order of your choosing. Remember to complete one figure's activation before beginning the next. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hit continue. We can also just take a look at them for a second before we go on. So you can see their bonus is that they gain an extra hit, which is not nice. Their priority when they start to attack us is to pierce 1, which can allow them to essentially get past any blocks we put up. And then stun, which we haven't run into yet, but we can read when it happens. All right, so at this point now, we're going to go ahead and activate these 2 individual units to see kind of what happens. So let's do that. So we're going to start off by activating. Let's activate the one furthest away. So this guy here. We're going to move 3 to start. So 1, 2, and he'd likely try to move diagonal to get over close and hugging the wall. So there's 3. He's going to move again to try to get close to something. So 1, 2. This would be 3, 4, 5. 6. He can get all the way over here to my individual, to my character. So he's going to be able to get all the way across, and he's going to be right here. Now technically he could even stop right here and be adjacent, but and actually that's probably where he would stop, is right on the corner. Then the other guy is going to activate, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's easily able to get to closest here as well. So now we have both of those figures right up against Garkin, which is not good because he's got 2 individuals to kind of fight off. But you can see that in the activations, it's only movement, no attacking. So they're just in position, and that's about it. So now we can go ahead and finish. You aren't equipped to take out those guards, Lieutenant Talkin calls over your comlink. Focus on that probe droid. Okay, so I've already killed off the probe droid, but the app apparently thinks it's still alive, but I already told it it's dead, so that's probably just a goof up in the writing. So really, I've already done the dirty work of killing off the probe droid. So at this point, I'm just trying to get the heck out of here and get to the door. Now, if I click on the door, when I get close to it, you can see there's going to be a way for me to get out. But essentially, I need to try to get this door to get out of here. It says the door is stuck open a few centimeters off the ground, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, you have to remember, I can't do that right now because the next activation order would be Garkin. Jan's already gone, so Garkin has to go next, and Garkin happens to be a little bit surrounded, but he's actually got a way out. He can go right here and start running towards the door, which is what he's going to do. So he's going to book it. So he's going to go one, and again, let's take a look at his movement actually. So his speed is 4, so he's going to end up going 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first action, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now he's adjacent to the door as well. So now both of them are at the door, which is perfect, but we've used up our activations. Now we have to go like this, and Garkin's activation. Now I still have activations left, because remember, when you're playing with 2 players, you get to go a second time, and we just happen to be at the door. We're not going to bother trying to fight those things because that would just be suicide in my opinion. I just want to get the heck out. So I'm going to have Jan try to actually get this door open, and so we're going to actually just click on the door itself and use one of our actions to actually try to do this. Now there's 2 different things we can do. We can look for a manual release on the door, or we can try to force the door open. Now you want to be smart about this. So I'm trying to figure out what would be the smartest thing to do. Now we do have these little skills kind of in the bottom of each of our characters, which align to different things. So you know that Jan's a really good mechanic. She might be able to look for maybe that she'd be able to find a manual release because she has. But I got a funny feeling if you're looking for a manual release, you'll probably use the observation skill. Forcing the door open, we'd want Garkin to be probably doing the forcing open. So because we're activating Jan, let's have her go with the look for a manual release, because we got better odds with that. So we're gonna go look for a manual release, see what happens. So roll the dice shown next to the insight icon on your hero sheet and enter the number of surge results below. Okay, so Jan's gonna be rolling a green and a blue. So let's do that, and we just gotta enter the amount of surge icons we get out of this. Hopefully it's good. Ugh, just 1, not exactly the best. We'll confirm it. You search the vicinity of the door for the manual override, but you can't find it anywhere. You will need to try again to open the door. Rats. Okay, so we know that didn't work. She still has a turn, so she's going to do the exact same thing again. I'm not going to try to have her force the door open because she's terrible with her blue dice rolls, and I imagine it would be that symbol right there. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing with her last action, her activation, to try to look for a manual release again. So doing the exact same thing. Maybe we can get a lucky roll, get a couple more surges. We did. We got 2 surges this time, so maybe that adding to the other one we already put in will help us. There we go. You search the vicinity of the door for the manual override. You notice the outline of a false panel in the Durasteel wall near the door and pull it open, revealing a lever inside. You pull the lever several times, the door inching upward a few centimeters with each pull until the door is about 1 meter off the ground. One by one, your team members drop to the ground and roll under the door. When everyone's inside, you hit the emergency close button and the door slams shut. You are safe for now. You have completed the second tutorial mission. Damage does not carry over between missions, so remove all damage from your hero sheets before beginning the next tutorial mission. Awesome, guys. So we did it. We cowardly ran away from the Royal Guards. Now, yeah, we could have sat there and tried to fight them. I'm sure there's some people that have actually attempted to do so, but you can see their health is quite high. It's 8. And they're rolling red and yellow. They likely would have just creamed us. So it was probably a good idea to just get out of there in that situation. And sometimes it's wiser to run than to fight. So we did that. Now the app is telling us to get rid of all damage off our characters because it doesn't carry over, thankfully. So we get to heal up. And at this point, we'll just hit continue because really we're moving forward and we finished this mission. So we'll take a look at what's going to come next. This should be pretty exciting. I'm just going to keep this camera away here because I think the focus will go crazy. All right, here we go. Good work with those Imperials. You have learned almost everything you need to know to play Legends of the Alliance. Complete the final tutorial and you'll be ready to dive into the campaign. See, guys, we're getting closer by the minute. So at this point right now, we're done. We finished off that second mission. Now there's one more to go. I'm going to click on it so you guys can see what's coming up in the next video. So Yavin 4, the 4th moon orbiting the outer rim planet Yavin. Actually, we read that before. This is really what matters now. This is the selective briefing, new recruits part 3. Now once I click on this, we're going to move into that particular final training video basically, and it's going to take us through some more stuff. My guess would be in that training tutorial we'll probably start using skills of our players characters. We'll see whether the app calls for it, or I might just start talking about them and bringing them in so you guys get an understanding of how those abilities work in combat. And then after that, we're going to finish off the Legends of the Alliance tutorial and move into the other tutorial within this, or the other campaign, I should say, within this game. I'm really excited about that. I think you guys will really enjoy it. So if you'll join me, come back and for the next video. If you like what you've seen so far, give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate all the support. And also, if you haven't jumped in on the Fallout, the board game playthrough, I've just started that up. So the video just prior to this one that got released was for the solo setup. So if you are watching this one, you also want to jump in on the Fallout one that has begun as well. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel. Appreciate everything, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, keep on rolling solo.